Good morning and welcome to this edition of the Lynn Hayes Freeland Show. We have so much to do. I am very excited about everything we're going to do on the show. A little bit later in the program, a new exhibit at the Carnegie Museum, Teenie Harris. Some photos you probably have never seen before. Also coming up, a story called I Can and I Will. You may not know what that means, but you'll be glad you tuned in this morning to learn about that story. But we begin with another story that's actually kind of set around the Hill District in the city of Pittsburgh. It's kind of set around the life of the legend, Lena Horne. The book is entitled The Blues Walked In. The author is Kathleen George. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So I say that The Blues Walked In is kind of set around the Hill District and around the life of Lena Horne, but it's not biographical.
That's right. It's fiction. I made up a bunch of stuff, but I did read everything about Lena Horne I could read. I saw everything I could see. And I managed to, with key moments in her life during those years, I kept those things accurate.
And it's interesting because I still think that a lot of people don't know that Lena Horne had connections to Pittsburgh and the Hill District in particular.
I know. You know, I was listening to her CD of The Lady and Her Music, and I'd listened to it many, many times, and I always heard her say, and then I had this one stop, quite a stop. I went to Pittsburgh and I had a couple of kids. And then one day I was listening to it and I said, whoa, why don't I find out about that? You know, that's really interesting. And so I learned that she had a father who had a hotel in the Hill District and that she came for some time and had 2 kids. And that gave me the idea for a novel because I also knew that a lot of Arabic American people lived in the Hill District too. And I got this idea that, I mean, Lena Horne kind of reminded me of my mother. And I thought, what if, just what if these 2 people were growing up in the same neighborhood, and to some people who weren't looking very hard, they kind of looked alike, you know? What would happen? And then a whole plot came out of that.
So her friend, Maria, is it Maria?
Marie.
So Marie is not a real character. I mean, she's a real character in the book.
In the book.
Okay, all right. Oh, interesting, because as you read the book, you really, I mean, from the first moment when she's walking up the hill with luggage, you are kind of just dropped down into this time period and this place.
I hope I made it believable. That's good to hear. Yeah, all the little details like that I got from listening to her voice, reading her own autobiography, reading the biography of her by James Gavin, which was really good, and also her daughter's works, who told me a lot. And then hearing her voice on that CD, I felt like, boy, I'm getting close. I feel like I know how she was, you know? So, so those details really helped me a lot.
And one of the things you said to me before we started to tape was that there were things that Lena Horne would comment from on stage that reflected what was going on internally with her sometimes.
Yeah, I think that a lot of her power was in anger and in finding her own anger. And that's why when I had to figure out, I knew that Paul Robeson was always after her. He was always saying, you've got to become an activist, you've got to do something, you know? And she had a little hesitation because she was trying to make a career, she was gorgeous, you know, and she was afraid to rock the boat.
Right.
But he was pushing her, and so I had to decide what he said to her, and I said, okay, I hear him. I hear his rumbling voice, and he's saying, you got to have anger. I have anger, and I have lust for all the good things in life. And do you have that? And she did, of course, have that, but she wasn't sure at the moment that she did.
So what was interesting to me about the book, and as you said, you kind of took these parts of her life and built around them and created this novel, but it seems so real to me.
Oh, good.
And I had to keep saying, this is a novel.
Yeah, I know. It's a very odd beast when you take a real character, a real life, and you blend it with fiction. A couple of writers are doing that these days, and it's sort of fun. And also maddening.
So what do you want, what's the takeaway at the end when you turn the last page of the book and you close the book? How do you as the author want me, the reader, to reflect and feel?
A lot as Marie does when she has been swacked by Lena, but also envious all her life, and she thinks, man, that woman had it easy. And she suddenly realizes, wow, no, she did not have it easy. You know, there were depths that we could never know about because she had so much spirit and so much natural joy that she was out there performing, charming people, and yet, when you think of what she went through, all through her life, it was quite amazing.
Absolutely.
From being not allowed to go into certain places where the band was playing because she had to stay in the bus, you know, to having her songs cut out of the movies in the South. And the one story I had to use that was real was the USO tour when she went to Little Rock, Arkansas. That was so powerful. I thought that has to go in the book.
Well, and then that, to kind of bring this full circle, goes to a lot of that anger that was welling up there that she didn't know what to do with.
She didn't know what to do with it at first.
Interesting.
She sounds very different on the CD in 1981 from how she sounded at first, with every syllable was crisp and perfect. And she was sort of trained in a very good high school. She was very smart, and you know, she sounded mid-Atlantic white at first.
Absolutely.
And not at the end. She did not sound that way.
I don't want to run out of time, but Marie and your mother, what would your mother think about Marie? Or does your mother? I don't know.
Well, my mother's gone now, but she would have liked Marie, but I don't know if she would have seen herself in Marie.
Okay.
You know, they say that people don't always see when they've been models for characters. The famous story is Tennessee Williams wrote The Glass Menagerie, and his mother said, "Oh, where did you get that horrible character?" And he said, "Well, I don't know, Mom, I made it up."
Terrific. The book is called The Blues Walked In. How can we get it? How can readers get it?
Well, I'm going to be at Riverstone Books tonight. It's at bookshops around the city. Classic Lines in Squirrel Hill has it. Penguin Bookshop has it. Riverstone Books has it. I think online you can find it at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.
That's perfect. Thanks so much for joining us
today.
Today.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff, indeed.
Thank you.
And as I mentioned to you, I have roots in the Hill District, so we didn't live in the same era, but it was personal for me, indeed, yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, good job. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to reflect on the career of Teenie Harris. So don't go away when the Lynn Hayes Freeland Show continues.
The Lynn Hayes Freeland Show is sponsored by Dollar Bank, providing mortgages for mothers with less than perfect credit.